watching the Bulldog Brewhouse Podcast.
Hey everybody, it's Steve Grover. We're back from Austin, Texas. We were down there having some good times, going to a trucking seminar and checking out the sites of 6th Street and University of Texas Austin. If you haven't checked out the videos from that ATA conference in Austin and the good times we're having down there, check it out. They're all posted on social media. But now we're back in Calgary, back to working to help injured people get justice in Canada. And you know what? I know the motorcycle season's ended in Canada. I mean, you can probably still, ride your bike now, but it's going to close off pretty soon when the snow starts hitting the fall consistently. But we have a special guest here. I'm a biker, and I know all about Buell, and we've got Steve Sharkey, is it? From Buell.
That is it.
All right, did you know, Steve, your last name is Sharkey, like shark, okay? Do you know this year is the 50th anniversary of Jaws?
I do.
Yeah, okay. So I just had to mention that with your cool last name.
Thanks. We actually did for my son's first birthday, it was a Jaws popping out of the cake.
Okay.
With,
all right.
Like, the mouth, the head, and the blood coming down it, because that's what you do for a 1-year-old birthday party. I don't know.
Something crazy. Yeah, I've got a 4-year-old daughter, and she's into Paw Patrol, and now she's into Phantom Pups. I don't know if you've seen that. It's on Netflix. The Halloween season's here. So we're watching Phantom Pups. She was scared to watch it. I had to hold her hand, but this isn't that bad. It's about puppies becoming phantoms. So,
okay.
So check that out on Netflix. Yeah, but obviously you got a cool first name, Steve, like me. That's a cool name. But Sharkey, what's the origin of Sharkey? Just to get started with that.
So Sharkey is Irish roots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what part of Ireland your family's from at all, or no?
According to the family name history thing I got on the wall here, it is southwestern Ireland.
Okay, cool. Well, my dad...
I couldn't give you a name off the top of my head.
So, southwestern part. So that's towards the Atlantic Ocean then.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Ireland?
I have not.
Okay. Well, my dad was a surgeon, and he did postgraduate studies in Dublin at Trinity College, which is a very famous university. He enjoyed it, and then he did some work up in Belfast during the height of the IRA wars. It was quite interesting, but he said it was good for him to go to Belfast because he learned a lot of trauma. I mean, we live in Canada. I know there's not gun shootouts like in the U.S., and the Second Amendment, you guys have to carry a gun. We don't have that. But for a doctor to learn more trauma, especially during the height of the IRA, Irish Republic Army wars against the British Army, was a good experience for him. But he always talks well of Ireland. And do you drink Guinness at all?
I will say I have a love-hate relationship with Guinness.
Okay.
I loved it for a while, and now me and Guinness are not on speaking terms. Okay.
What, one bad night or something?
It's a lot of bad nights that just added up over time.
Okay. Yeah, well, right now, I'm a Netflix fan. I mean, I do have cable, and I think I'm wasting my money because there's really nothing on cable other than NFL and Major League Baseball. But now I'm into Netflix. Ever since COVID, I found Netflix. And one series I'm just watching this week out of coincidence with you being Irish is The House of Guinness. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have not, but it is definitely on the watch list. I think right now I'm working through all of the spooky season with the shows that I'm watching.
Okay, like Phantom Pups maybe?
Phantom Pups is on there now. Working my way through Wednesday and try to watch a scary movie a night for the month of October.
Yeah.
Just kind of set the theme for the season.
Yeah, especially Halloween's on a Friday this year, which is a good... I hate it when Halloween's on a Wednesday. I mean, it sucks. I don't mind it Monday night because I remember, Monday Night Football, they go crazy about Halloween. And I think it was, early 2000. They had an opening with Barry Sanders doing trick-or-treating on Halloween night. It's pretty cool. I remember that. So, but at least it's a Friday this year, hey?
Yeah, it should be pretty good. It's cool because now I get to, my son chooses my costume, and I get to go trick-or-treating again, which is a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not actually asking for candy, but I get to take him and watch him do the thing.
Okay. Well, if you don't take candy, take a pillowcase for me. Get all the candy you can, and then I'll send a FedEx driver to come pick it up and ship it to Canada, okay?
Sounds good.
I like
I mean, like you guys got all the good candy though. Like if I could get some Smarties down here, I'd be in heaven.
Okay. Well, next time I see you, I'll probably bring a box of Smarties, like a big box like this big. But I like Reese's peanut butter cups. I love that. And
Fair
those
enough.
those mini Oreo cookies and creams. I can eat those all
Okay.
night long until I get sick and pass out. So,
Fair enough.
so obviously, you're with Buell Motorcycle. Tell me a little bit of history. I know who you are. We met at Sturgis. Thank you. Like, actually, our booth was just around the corner from you guys on LaSalle Street in Sturgis. Quite coincidence. We came by the booth and we talked to you gentlemen, and then we met you, I think it was Deadwood, down the main drag one night. We were going for dinner, and
Yep.
you know, I asked if you could be on my podcast. I know Bill, the CEO, was not able to get on tonight because I know he's busy with production, obviously. But, yeah, tell me a little bit about you and how you got involved with Buell Motorcycles.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so I've been a motorcycle enthusiast rider for as long as I can remember. My role with the company is the regional manager for the Western U.S. So I handle setting up our service center and our dealer network, basically New Mexico north all the way to the coast.
Okay.
I do share a couple of states with one of my partners, and it's a lot of having conversations, talking about making sure we can have the network set up for our customers and the riders to have the confidence to be able to get on our bikes and travel wherever they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I've been able to step into a couple of different things. So I handle the direct-to-consumer sales right now for the 1190SX and our Hammerhead. So our fully dressed sport bike and our naked sport bike. The story of me ending up at Buell is personally one of my favorites because it's just one of those things that, it just shows like if you want something, you got to go for it and you got to keep going for it until you get it. So I applied for this job 3 weeks before Sturgis last year and followed up every week just trying to connect with someone. And then I saw that the team was going to be at Sturgis. So I showed up on the first day at their booth.
Okay.
I was like, hey guys, so I sent in my application, just looking to see if anybody's here that I can talk to. Met with Chris Povance, who handles our Midwest and Northeastern regions. And he kind of gave me the rundown and was like, you want to meet Marissa? She's going to be here tomorrow. So I showed up the next day. Marissa was still at the other location because we were set up at Rapid City Harley as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, okay, showed up the next day. I showed up 3 days in a row until they were like, I don't think Marissa's making it up here. You might have to go down to Rapid. She lives tomorrow afternoon. So I made my way down to Rapid the next morning, met with Marissa, had that conversation, which I guess went well because I got to have a conversation with Bill and move further into the role. But it took a few more weeks of follow-up every, 5 to 7 days. Be like, hey guys, just want to make sure that I'm still the guy for this role.
Yeah.
And then like everything kind of fell into place. And I've been running ever since, literally nonstop. We are feet to the fire. I'm really bad at saying. So as we go through this, I'm sure I'm going to say something that doesn't make any sense. But I'll warn you now that that's going to happen. I was going to say fuel to the flame, one of those two.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been running ever since, getting things set up and going and traveling all over the place to try to make sure that we can support the motorcycles that are out there as well as the ones that are coming.
Okay, so I know about Buell. I know it was sort of like when they started, they were sort of the performance division of Harley Davidson. It didn't really work out. I think Buell, went away sort of. But can you tell my viewers the history of Buell Motorcycle? And obviously they're another American motorcycle manufacturer. There is Harley. And what's the importance of Buell coming back now to the rider society and culture in North America and probably the rest of the world?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question.
Thank you. I'm a pretty good lawyer, so I'm trying to.
I didn't know. Coming into this, I wasn't sure. I'm married to a lawyer, so I kind of knew the level of questions I was going to have.
Okay. Yeah, we don't get to question, reps from motorcycle, companies and question their depositions. Okay.
So we got, like, Eric Buell started his career engineering, and really laid down some groundbreaking designs for the motor company when he was with them. We were the performance arm of that. We've always been America's superbike. And that's kind of where we live today as well. 2012, Eric had the opportunity to go off and do his own thing. And he created EBR, Eric Buell Racing.
Okay.
And that's where he took the time and had some investment to develop the 1190 motor that we're currently running in our bikes.
Yeah.
And we were able to acquire the company from Eric. He's retired now, living a pretty great life. He just released an album. So his second passion in life was music.
Yeah.
Outside of building the coolest motorcycles, and he just released an album. He plays live shows in Tennessee sometimes. And we were able to get the Buell name back, and relaunch the brand. And we relaunched under Buell in 21.
Yeah.
And put forward the two super bikes that we have. So the Hammerhead and the 1190 SX, both redesigns of the EVR bikes. But part of that, we leaned into what Michigan had to offer. So when our owner acquired the company, one of his visions was that we became as much of an American-produced motorcycle as possible. So for the last 5 years or so, we've spent as much time as we could finding partners who could do the manufacturing that we wanted to have for our bikes, but do it domestically. So the motors are all cut and cast in Michigan. The tanks and tins. We've leaned into as many domestic partnerships as we can to put out the most American-made motorcycle.
Yeah.
And the fact that we are who we are, and we're Buell, and we put out, America's super bike, we have the ability to lean into that. What's cool is like seeing the reemergence in the market and who we are in comparison to the other super bikes that are out there, the other cruisers that are out there. Like we have the Super Cruiser coming. With the other super bikes out there, the real thing that we lean into is that connection with the bike. So people that are willing to challenge norms and take risks and really feel at one with the bike. And I mean, I'll speak for myself in it. Like when I'm on our bikes, it's a different feeling than the other bikes I'm on, because I know that there's more control that I have to have on these bikes as opposed to bikes that have different features or all of the fun technology that motorcycles come with now.
Okay, so who's the Bill's the CEO? What's his last name again?
Bill Melton.
Okay, what was his passion now all of a sudden to come in and get Eric Buell to sell it to him and then revitalize the whole kind of Buell? Like, was it just the right time, or was it just his interest he had?
I think Bill's part, not to speak for Bill completely, but he is a motorcycle enthusiast is probably the nicest way, but he's all in when it comes to two wheels, and he's all in when it comes to high performance and it comes to speed. Like Bill has race cars, he has all sorts of classic motorcycles. It was kind of a best case scenario as far as timing. And a lot of what we've done over the last 5 years have just been being in the right place at the right time and letting that kind of dictate what direction we go. I mean, be it like looking at our partnership with Fox Factory, who makes our suspensions for the Super Cruiser at the moment and the Super Touring. That was a right place at the right time, where Bill was having a conversation with the guys from Fox, and they mentioned that they were interested in getting back into like really leaning into on-road. And we were like, well, we're really looking to find a domestic partner for our suspensions, or so the mythology behind it goes.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, we'll get in the models that you guys produce, but I know Buell's got a big, rich racing history. It was just the right time for Bill to reintroduce Buell into the market. What has been, and I know you guys had a decent-sized booth in Sturgis, and you're around for like the whole 10 days, I think it was. How has been the response to people's perception now of Buell coming back?
It's a real interesting place to be when it comes to seeing people's reception, because there's a level of people who have been following the rebirth, and they're just all about it, and they're like, hey, we came to see you because you're going to be here. We knew you'd be here. But then there's people that would be walking by and be like, wait a sec, Buell?
Yeah.
Are these pre-owned bikes? And we're like, no, they're new bikes. We're back. Like, Buell is back. We've been back for a while. So there's a lot of excitement around the fact that the people that know Buell historically are seeing it again. And then there's the excitement of the new generation of people that are finding out about Buell too, which is pretty cool, because there's, like, every time I try to explain what the market or who we're marketing bikes to, somebody outside of that scope walks up and they're like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. I can't believe you're back. I can't believe you're doing this. So as far as like customer base is concerned, there's really no group I can pinpoint, because everybody that I talk to seems to have a passion about it. I mean, I will say it's not your dad's Buell. It's not, but we lean into the heritage that we have behind, we built bikes to own the corners, and now we have bikes that own the road.
Okay, so the reception's been pretty good. I mean, obviously you collected a lot of deposits on the supercharger, but going through the models, like you've got a series of models. You got a sport bike, naked bike, you got a touring bike, and then obviously you got the cruiser bike. So what are the models out there that you have? I know them, but give me the big picture of the models you have out there.
Yeah, so right now we have 2 models that are readily available as of today. So we have the Hammerhead, which is the 1190 motor in a fully dressed sport bike. And all of our sport bikes, so the fuel and frame, which is like a Buell signature thing that we do. We call them the legacy bikes. So fuel and frame technology, low center of gravity. We do everything in full carbon fiber. So the Hammerhead comes already dressed. Our base body work is just glossed carbon fiber with some decals, and then we offer some paint options on that. There's the 1190 SX, which is basically your street fighter version. Like, it's your naked cityscape bike, which I will say kind of gave me a rebirth in sport bikes. When I got mine, it kind of relit that fire of like, oh yeah, I remember why I liked these at one point, and then kind of fell away from them for as long as I did. The Super Touring is the best of both worlds with that. I mean, it's built for sport touring. So we built a bike for long hauls on road, but with a level of comfort that you could have in that style of bike. And I got to do a couple hundred miles on the way out to Sturgis on our Super Touring, which was a lot of fun. And that's a carbon fiber fuel and frame bike. And then the Super Cruiser, which is probably the most anticipated motorcycle that we have, is a full tube frame cruiser style bike with super bike guts. So we put the 1190 motor in there and kind of gave everybody the ability to start with the performance and the suspension and the brakes, and let them kind of go wild and have fun building the bikes out to what they want them to look like. I'm super excited about that aspect, because with 2025 models, they're coming one way from the factory. And what excites me about it is I'm sure you remember late 80s, early 90s motorcycle paint jobs. Because when you went to buy a motorcycle, it was whatever motorcycle is there. Because if you weren't getting something, so the the individuality of what people are going to bring to that bike is very exciting to me. It's like, oh, people are going to go do this, do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Okay.
I have an idea of what color I want to paint mine, but we'll see.
Okay, so obviously you've got the Hammerhead out there, the Naked, you got the touring bike, and I've seen those bikes in live, and I've seen the Super Cruiser. I mean, obviously there's huge anticipation of the Super Cruiser coming out. I mean, that's just a big market for you guys to get into, correct?
Yeah, it's definitely a market that we haven't stepped into before.
Yeah.
Nor has Buell. But like, it's also a market where we see a lot of value and we see a lot of people who are looking for something like this.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great crossover because it gives everybody that has the bikes that they want to build out to get the power.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could just buy this bike and the power's there and it has the same stylish aspect to it. But it's also on the other side of it, it's the guys that ride sport bikes but want to get into a cruiser to kind of have more relaxed riding, but not necessarily give up all of the power that they're used to. So it kind of gives both sides of the market a place to go. That there was just this gap for the entirety of motorcycles.
Yeah. Well, I know, Harley's got their cruiser section, and they got the baggers, and they got, they've got the, the trikes, the RG3. That was a cool bike when they put the Rogue Glide fairing on that trike. It made it look really cool compared to like a big old man kind of trike looking bike. But, there's a Lowrider ST, which I have. I've got the El Diablo, and we're doing some work on it just to make it, cooler. But the cruiser section is probably a big aspect of motorcycling in America now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is the market here. It's a mixed bag, though, because you get the cruiser guys that buy the baggers and make performance baggers out of them.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I have two buddies that live in Southern California that have the absolutely most insane baggers that you could build. And they're chomping at the bit, like, when is my Super Cruiser coming? And I see them every event I'm at, and, they have a pretty good idea of where they are on our list, and getting that bike to them is really exciting to me because they put 50,000 miles a year on the bikes that they currently have. And they're just not sure if they want to get another bike to do that to, or keep this bike for long hauls and have just a straight ripper around town bike. I will say the Super Cruiser can do both. We rode them out to Sturgis from Grand Rapids this year and got some good miles on them and had a lot of fun, and got soaked and dried out 5 times in the same day, which was a lot of fun too.
Okay.
There were guys that were smart enough to pack rain gear. I was not one of them.
Oh, okay. So you got soaking wet.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah. So
I did put a garbage bag over all of my bags, though, so that everything else stayed dry.
So it's 1190 engine, and it produces about 175 horsepower. Is that correct?
Yeah. So in the cruiser, it's 175. In the sport bikes, it's 185. And part of the reason is just different injectors because of where the fuel tank's located and the airbox.
So is it a fuel injected engine?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And it's a pretty modern engine that's been built out for the 1190. Okay.
Yeah, and it's all pretty much cut and cast here, which is exciting too.
So
not here where I am, but here where Michigan is, where the factory is.
So you're in San Francisco, I believe, right now, correct?
I'm about an hour north of San Francisco, but Bay Area.
Okay. And the headquarters for Buell's in Grand Rapids, Michigan?
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay.
Yep.
And what was the purpose of putting it in Michigan of all states?
I think just location of where we had a facility.
Yeah.
So Bill had a facility that we could move to, and it's a huge facility as far as ability to have excessive production lines. So right now we're using 10% of the facility, and that's the production line as far as the size. So we're probably using 20 to 25,000 square feet of just this monster facility that we have. But the way that it's been built and designed out is, we have the powertrain line where the motors are put together, and then they turn a corner and either go down 2 different Super Cruiser lines or go down a legacy line where they're doing the other 3 bikes. And then as we scale more and more, the space that we have to grow those lines and just duplicate the exact same thing, right next to it is there.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of, turning the lights on and hiring more people. And, we're perpetually in this state of growth to take care of all the production needs that we have. So it's cool. Every time I go visit the factory, there's new faces, and it's just more and more active every time I show up.
All right. So obviously you've had the Hammerhead, the naked bike, and the touring bike out, I believe, since 2024, correct?
So the Hammerhead and the 1190SX, so the naked, have been in production since 2021.
Okay.
The Super Touring is scheduled to go into production before the end of this year. So we should see an announcement around that soon. There's the Super Cruiser took a lot of precedent because of how many people wanted one.
Yeah.
So we kind of put more efforts into making sure that we're going to be able to fill those orders and those lines the way that, we anticipated from the beginning.
And how's the sales been for the the naked bike and the Hammerhead so far?
I mean, they're great. We've been able to, this is where I mess things up because I don't know the color of ledgers. Black is good, right?
Yeah.
Red is bad. So we've been in black on those bikes for the last 4 years. So we've been able to maintain and grow based off the sales of those bikes over the last 4 years as well.
Okay.
So we've leaned heavy on the legacy line to support the upcoming cruiser line, and then it'll be this balance, like things are up here and then they'll switch and then they'll inevitably balance out as far as just being able to move forward with everything.
So just out of curiosity, why has there been a delay in the Super Cruiser? Are you just trying to get more deposits or just get the Hammerhead and naked bike out in sales first?
I'm not going to say there's been a delay because we've been on target with the timelines. So since we introduced the bike in February of 23, our goal's always been production fall of 25.
Okay.
So hitting production a few weeks ago has been right on target. I will. The biggest difference though, and the reason it seems like there's been delays and all of it is, unlike the larger motorcycle companies out there, we don't have the privilege of going from concept to reality behind closed doors. Like if we came out with a concept in 23 and we're like, this is the Super Cruiser, and then we're completely silent about it until we started production, for the last 2 years, everybody would have just been like the internet would have torn us apart.
Okay.
Because they would have been like, where's that bike that you promised? Where's this? But what we've been able to do that's been different than anybody else is have complete transparency with the process and take every person on this journey from this is a concept, this is what went into prototype version 1, what the changes, and you saw how many of those prototype version 1s we built, and then what the changes were from prototype version 1 to prototype version 2, and those bits and pieces, and then from version 3 or version 2 to version 3, which was the production intended version. And we introduced that in February, March at Daytona Bike Week this year. So that's kind of been the whole, like, you got to come on the journey with us and see all of the changes, and to go from concept to full production on a motorcycle is crazy because there's so many different regulations, government regulations, production regulations. There's also like levels of just making sure people are working appropriate amount of hours and like labor laws. And so to have all of that and still be able to just do it in just under 3 years is a real testament to the amount of work that the engineering team and the manufacturing team and our marketing team, like everybody's been able to do to just keep it in the forefront of your mind as we go through it. I was going through some old posts on my LinkedIn from 2023, and there's an article I posted about the reemergence of Buell and the Super Cruiser, and I'm just like, oh, no way, look at that. Look at me being involved in Buell before getting a job with Buell was even a consideration of mine. Just excited that Buell was making its way and chipping away at, the rebirth of the legacy that is the Buell name and the bikes that we do bring to the table.
So I mean, the motorcycle market, like 2019 was okay. COVID comes and, sales went crazy. And then post-COVID, it sort of stabilized to pre-COVID years sales-wise. I know that's in Canada. I don't know what the U.S. is like. I mean, I was in Sturgis and everyone's going like a mad dog. Rapid City, Harley's busy and Sturgis is busy and you got all these accessories. And you just think it was a good time for Bill to get into this market right now and revitalize Buell as an American legacy?
I think timing's everything.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I think
timing's not everything. At the end of the day, you don't plan to have a kid. It just happens. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Touche. I hear you on that one on a couple of levels. But I mean, if you look at our launch and the way that the market's pretty balanced out since then, 21, 22, 23, there was this overload of motorcycles available. So we went from a world of not having enough motorcycles so you could sell literally anything and everything in 2020, 2021 to having more choices than you knew what to do with 22, 23. And now that we're starting to see that balance of like, okay, people have balanced out their inventory. Customers are more focused on what their wants are as well. So like somebody's coming into a dealership and going, I'm looking for this, but I want all the power, all this. And, in the past, you buy a $24,000 US dollar motorcycle and you spend another $10,000 to $15,000 on it for motor and suspension and all of the things that you want to do. So people are coming in with that mindset, and now they're able to go and see, hey, here's a bike with all of that out of the box. So now that there's the performance bagger end of the performance bagger, there's all of the different performance ends of things, like being able to have an American-made performance bike step back into the market's pretty exciting as far as being able to have all of that available to people out of the box.
So you told the history of how you're very persistent in getting a job with Buell. What attracted you to not give up? Sort of like, I don't know if you've ever seen Wall Street with Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen, that movie, and Mike eventually lets him in his office, and this guy was calling me every day and sending me Christmas presents. He finally got in my office because about Blue Star, the airplane company. Yeah. So what was the persistence of you of Charlie, sort of like Charlie Sheen? What was the attraction of you wanting to work for Buell?
I mean, from before I even I believe in it. I believe in the mission. I believe in what we're doing. Yeah. And I mean, that was the attraction from the jump. Like, I knew that if I were able to have a conversation with the people that were in charge, that they would see that I was the right person for this role. And, live, eat, and breathe this motorcycle company and this brand and what we are. I mean, I definitely got a Pegasus tattooed on me
at
Daytona this year.
Yeah.
I wasn't the only one, but but it was one of those things that like before I even knew the job was available, I knew that Buell was gonna. This is where I messed up a saying, but like rattle the cages. I was gonna say shake fences, but I don't think that that's a saying at all.
Yeah.
But like I knew Buell was gonna rattle some cages and kind of disrupt the market, and I've always been really good at just disrupting things.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's a good mix or not, but like.
Yeah, you don't want to be like vanilla ice cream. You like to be like, cotton candy, like what my daughter likes. You know what I'm saying? She likes cotton candy.
I will say vanilla is definitely my favorite ice cream. But no, like the fact that Buell had come back, and I think part of it just leans into like in 2017, I was working a show with the dealer that I was at in Los Angeles back when Progressive did the motorcycle shows throughout the country. And it was actually later down the line after I started working for Buell, I found this all out, but it was the year that Bill had acquired EBR. So both Bill and Eric were at this show. Mm-hmm. And I was walking out at the end of the day and I was like, oh my God, that's Eric Buell. And I just wanted to go up and shake his hand. Mm-hmm. Like, I just wanted to go up and be like, hey, like, you're an absolute genius. It's a pleasure to shake your hand. So I've been a Buell enthusiast for as far back as I can remember. Mm-hmm. And then to see that, like, I went through my phone and showed Bill a picture of me shaking hands with Eric. He's like, that's me right next to Eric in your picture. And I was like, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But to see the amount of passion that the team has, mm-hmm. And to put things out that are kind of not like anything else out there, is really exciting to me. And that was one of the things that drew me in the beginning. It was the perfect timing in my life to find a role. Like I was working, but had the opportunity to really devote, enough time twice a week to reach out and be like, hey guys, it's me, that guy again. Mm-hmm. But it's been a wild ride and it's so much fun. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the things that, like, as an employee of a company, that I'll lean into is like, it's made motorcycles fun again. Yeah. Like the amount of like corporate, here's your box that you have to live within. Like they definitely give me enough rope to hang myself. Which is like one of those, like, when you said it was about an hour long, I was like, oh God, I'm going to say something. Okay. I'm like talking to a lawyer for an hour. Yeah. Let's see how this goes.
Oh, you're doing fine. It's already been 40 minutes, so.
No. It's like totally fine. But, my head will go into that place of like, just make sure, like, check. But they've made it fun again. Yeah. Like, it is what I remember working in the motorcycle industry was 10 years ago.
So it revitalized your career.
Yeah, and it's revitalized it just like internal for me. Yeah. I've made some great connections. I've made some amazing friends over the last year, like traveling to different shows and seeing the same people at every show, traveling with certain people to certain shows, collaborating on different projects with different teams throughout the industry, and just like getting to see people have fun. I mean, part of what we've done, so we have the legacy bikes, which are, built performance bikes. They're like, if you want to race a bike, this is the bike mm-hmm. that you should probably look at. And then we've also leaned into a world of motorcycling that nobody's really leaned into. So like we have a lot of great partners out there that'll get on the bike and put on a stunt show. Yeah. So, like Jesse Ryan.
Yeah. For the Vanishing Ones.
Yeah. What if Bill said the Canadian Slayer when he described Jesse? I was like, I've never heard that, but yeah, Jesse's one of the Vanishing Ones. He's a concrete cowboy. Like he'll get on. And I mean, I know he lives in Vancouver, so he's like, I want to say not that far from me, but I mean, honestly, it's a day trip in my car. But like just super genuinely cool and nice people out there. Like Jesse, I mean, Gino down in Arizona, Gabe in SoCal. So like all these guys that have gotten on the bike to stunt it and do some crazy things that we look at and go, that people can do that with a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You know, like we have a partner in Calgary right now that has Hammerheads and SXs just like in the building. You can go look at it right now.
Oh yeah, I've been. It's Calgary Cycle City, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been down there, and they look nice, and that's where I got introduced to them. I think it was July 2024. They're
nice.
good guys down there. And regarding the Super Cruiser, so it's sort of like you're describing Buell as, rocking the cage. What's your typical Buell buyer, especially the Super Cruiser? What's the demographics? What are they interested? Have you ever done that study at all?
Man, we have, and like every time, like I think I said it earlier, like every time we talk about demographics, the scope widens every time. Like at Daytona, I was talking about who we are and demographics with a new person on the team. And then the next 5 people that came to our tent were, 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years outside of that demographic pool.
Yeah.
Because like you'll get these guys that are in their 70s that know Buell and go, oh my God, like you're doing a cruiser, you're doing this, like that's crazy. Like there's the historic Buell guys that are looking for something similar to the Ulysses, so you get to see that super touring. I mean, 25 to 45 is what I would love to say the demographic is, but I mean, the spread is probably significantly further than that as far as what we see in person, as well as, what's coming in all around.
So obviously production's in full swing right now for the Super Cruiser. And how's been production going so far this fall?
I mean, it's going real well.
Yeah.
We spent a good amount of time setting up, setting up supply chains so that we could make sure that, once we started, we could go, SOP builds and just making sure that everything is checking the boxes the way they're supposed to when they're on the line and coming off the line, and making sure that all of those procedures are built so that the bikes come off as close to exactly the same as possible. So production's moving along. The team is super busy there. So just like I'm trying to be as busy as I can out here, making sure that they have places for those bikes to go.
Yeah, and how is the dealer network across the U.S. right now? Obviously you can produce a great product, but if you don't have a dealer network to sell them and service them and get parts to, that could always be a problem. Logistics is always a big issue that people forget about.
Yeah. Fortunately, we've had a lot of foresight when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Our dealer network, dealer-wise, we probably have 15 dealerships across the country, but we have 85 to 100 service centers. So part of what our model is, and United States model is definitely different than Canada. Canada has to go through an importer and then 2 dealers specifically, whereas in the US, we can sell direct to consumer here, which is kind of the hybrid portion of our model. So where it doesn't really make sense to have a dealer partner, we are partnering with service centers to make sure that people have places to take their bikes, and then we're delivering bikes directly to their door. And then assigning them to that service center.
So I could go on.
It's kind of like a mixed bag.
Okay, so are you guys online, sort of like, I want a Super Cruiser, here's my deposit, in a year you'll deliver it to my front door?
Pretty much.
Okay. And then
I think it's $9.95 anywhere in the lower 48.
And obviously, like if I'm in California, how many service centers do you have in the state of California?
California, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, and obviously parts is always I've had some very exotic bikes like an MV Augusta. I still have it, but MV's a great motorcycle company. They produce motorcycle art, But it's always been a problem of their supply chain, especially coming in over the Atlantic to Canada or the U.S. to service that area. You know, and you know their parts. There's another company that's difficult to deal with, and you know, if I'm looking to buy a bike, I want to make sure I can get service, get the parts, and it's just not a one-off. Does it make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's part of what we've spent the last few years focusing on.
Yeah.
Like, especially going into this build, like supply chain was huge.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we don't run into that thought that pops into people's head of like, well, where am I going to get it serviced, or will there be parts available?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
We wanted to make sure that we had everything lined up. We keep a healthy inventory of, you know, the parts that one would need for this bike. You can order them directly from us. Our service centers know how to get them from us as well. You know, certain things you can get in parts, like I think it's the drag book, but like when it comes to oil changes and simple things, like that's all readily available from distributors that aren't us. So there's different avenues to go with, but you know, making sure that was probably one of the heavier things that we leaned into with getting, like with our relaunch, is making sure that there were the parts and that there was the inventory so that people didn't find themselves lost.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like if a bike breaks down, you got to wait a year to get parts, and you know, people are frustrated. I've heard the stories on some European manufacturers, very exclusive ones, and the network across Canada. I know we're in the Great White North. You've got a dealer here in Calgary where we're located. Is there any other dealers you've opened lately or looking to do?
Right now, Calgary is it. I mean, we do have a partner in Southern California who also has something in BC. So talking about that, working on, I'm sorry, my eyes are over here. I'm looking at a map. Toronto is definitely on the list, Toronto, Montreal. And really just making sure that we can lay it out in a way that makes sense. Because, you know, hitting the major cities is great.
Yeah. Well, especially like, Toronto. Like Toronto, you have to. That's a big market, 20 million people. I know we're in Calgary, which is, you know, it's a decent sized city, but Toronto is the center of the universe pretty much for Canada, New York, and so that's a big market for you guys eventually to get into.
I mean, like Toronto, but like I would also want to put something, you know, somewhere where you have the opportunity to get your bike checked or fixed, like mid Ontario. Like, I know Winnipeg's great, but like if I'm looking at a map, you know, there's no dot in Saskatchewan that shows me that this is the big city here.
Oh, there's Regina, Saskatoon. So if you ever need any help with Canadian geography and cities, just email me, okay?
Oh, I will, for sure.
All right. And then, so you got dealer networks across. So California is probably your biggest service dealer network area of all the states, eh?
I mean, it's the largest landmass outside of Texas that we have to cover.
Yeah.
You know, the South, the Southeast is pretty well covered, but you know, there's always room. You know, as of probably tomorrow, there'll be 2 new spots in Eastern Colorado that pop up. Working on someone in Western Colorado, because that always tends to be the question.
Yeah.
So, you know, I look at the gaps on my map as far as what my states look like. I'm like, okay, like these 3 states give me a lot of anxiety. As far as just making sure that there's something there. There's also like a process that goes into it. So we want to vet and make sure that we're working with the right partners that are gonna, you know, make sure that our customers are taken care of. Historically, Buell customers were kind of an afterthought when if you took your Buell to your local dealership, and we don't want that to be what the sentiment is around who we are now. You know, like we want to make sure people know that we're a different Buell and that we are the Buell that make sure that their customers are taken care of, that there are parts, that there are places to get your bike fixed. The place that you're going to take your bike to get fixed is going to take it seriously and, you know, tell you what's going on. And that's how we kind of work with our service center partners. Is like, hey, this is your customer
Yep.
for the next 3 years. Like, you're
Yep.
assigned that customer. That's your person. You can reach out to them and be like, hey, you're due for your annual service, things like that. So, when I worked in the dealership world, it was always, sales sells the first bike, but service and parts sell every other bike after that. And I think making sure that people know that the service and parts portion of our business is not an afterthought, but a priority is something that gives us an opportunity to lean into, who we are and,
Well, obviously,
do what we say, do what we say and say what we do.
Yeah. Well, obviously, producing a great product is good, but stuff breaks all the time. I mean, it doesn't matter if you buy a coffee maker or a vacuum or a motorcycle, they're going to break, and you want to make sure you give good customer service so that you can service your clients, and then they'll come back and buy more bikes, so they'll refer their friends and family to Buell to get bikes, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. Like the best thing is for someone to go, hey, like, I had an issue with my bike and I took it to so-and-so service center, and they're a Buell service center, and it went flawlessly, and I got my bike back and it runs and I'm excited, and you should check it out too.
So for, I'm interested in getting a supercharger. I'm very interested. I have a big bike collection. My wife doesn't like it, but it's something I have to deal with, and she has to deal with other things that I don't like. But at the end of the day, what I'm hearing from you is Buell is an American motorcycle company, built in America for Americans or for the motorcycle community. That's probably one of your main values, is you're built and made in America, correct?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That is spot on. And not only are we made,
and I won't mention other manufacturers, but I know other manufacturers, they'll put a sticker on their bike saying "Made in Thailand." You know what I'm saying?
I'll let you make the comment.
Yeah.
On top of all of it, like, when you think about manufactured in Michigan, my brain goes to those classic American performance, like, muscle cars that I grew up loving. So made in Michigan, I directly associate that with performance and fun.
Well, obviously with Ford and Chevy out of Detroit and stuff like that. I also think I also think Winners. I also think University of Michigan Wolverines football. I mean, there's the Spartans and stuff like that. I'm a sports fan. But obviously one of the values you have is American built and made. What are the other values? Like, obviously customer service, having a great product. Any other values, core values of Buell as a company now revitalized?
I mean, I think there's levels of passion and just adrenaline that we bring to the table when it comes to who we are and what we do. I mean, I'll lean on to saying that when it comes to values, we are a passionate group of people when it comes to what we do and who we're doing it for. And we're doing it for people who want to live that untethered life. Yeah. Okay. And I think that kind of speaks with what we're able to bring out. And I think there's a big gap out there as far as something for the people that want to live on the edge and not have to be tied down to devices and technology and just get out there and ride and have fun.
Is there a lot of technology to the Buell bikes, or is it core of here's the core of the motorcycle, here's the engine, you got the the screen, a lot of these bikes have more technology than cars have it now,
Yeah, we are the most analog motorcycle I think you'll find. Okay. It is a bike that is built for someone who wants to have complete control over their bike. Okay. That's probably the best way to put it. We build bikes for people that when they're on it, know that if they make a decision, that decision is going to be what the next thing that happens with that bike is.
Okay. So obviously the Super Cruiser comes in one color, black. Is it like you talked about this earlier in the podcast? Is the reason why you just bring black out is because you want people maybe to individualize their own bike to make it their own kind of bike?
I'm gonna say yes to that.
Okay.
No, I think that it's gonna be really exciting to see the individuality come with that.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the biggest thing to lean into is, everybody's getting the same bike. What are you gonna do with it? Like, we've already done the performance, we've already done the suspension. It comes with a seat made by Saddlemen for that bike.
Yeah.
The bars and the risers are stock, set up the way they are. Like, what are you going to do to make it yours? How do you create the uniqueness that is you and your motorcycle so that you can get on it, or you can park it in a parking lot, look across that parking lot and see a motorcycle that speaks directly to you? Some people will just leave it the way it is.
Yeah.
Some people take it to a painter and say, hey man, like, go nuts.
Yeah.
Some people lean heavier into the Pegasus and, what that is. Some people will paint it a solid color. I'm over here. I have like a rainbow and a purple and a gold flake ready to go when mine gets here. Like, I'm gonna go nuts with the paint on this bike, but I'm really not gonna do anything else because it's already done.
You're not gonna put a unicorn thing on the front of it, rainbow and purple.
It's like the colors will pop under the paint that they're under. So like it'll be different colors of like I don't know. I love flames on motorcycles.
Yeah.
So just like having different flakes and different portions of flames will be exciting to see.
Okay. So you got the Hammerhead out. It's been for a couple of years. You got the NSX naked bike. You've got the touring bike coming out. That's heading in production. And the Super Cruiser, that's in full production mode right now. Obviously, Bill's too busy. I mean, I can respect that.
I'll get him here, I swear.
Yeah, next
we'll
year.
We'll figure out a time.
Yeah. But when are you gonna? Have people started taking possession of their Super Cruisers?
Not at the moment. We are looking to start getting them out to people here shortly. I don't have the exact timeline on that. Like I said, production-wise, it's a matter of just like making sure that the first group of bikes that come off the production line, like there's the validations that go into those before we can start sending things out. But I will say it's right around the corner, and we're all very excited.
So obviously, the orders for America will be coming in first. When do you see orders coming across north of the border on the Super Cruiser?
So the Super Cruiser is interesting because, like I said, with Canada, it's to an importer and then to a dealer partner.
Yeah.
So I would assume that we see something in there somewhere in the first half of next year.
Yeah.
I would love to give you a concrete timeline.
Okay.
But Q2, Q3 is probably a solid window of time that I would say.
And what about when?
I wish I had a better answer.
And if I had an order a couple years ago on a deposit in one in California, would I get my? Are you going to start delivering this fall in California and Texas and the other states in the union?
So California is the last little hurdle we're getting over. We'll probably see California bikes end of year, early next year.
Okay. So what state would orders go to first? Is there a priority at all?
The other 49.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It's based on order number. So when people put their production deposit down, they were given an order number. It starts with a 5, and I would say look at the last 4 of those, and you'll know exactly where you are in that line.
And has the first Super Cruiser rolled off the production line yet?
It has. It's actually at the Barber Motorcycle Museum. We sent it down there for the vintage racing, and they kept it.
Okay. Yeah, obviously, always number one's the most important, and people want to collect that. But, it's been great to talk to you. I know there's a lot of information, we put in an hour, and we'll probably have to get you back in here or with Bill when you get the bikes out to customers. Maybe we'll come down and meet you guys in Grand Rapids. But obviously, I wish you guys all the best with Buell. I mean, it looks like a cool product. And just one other question about Buell before we move on. Why did they pick the Pegasus as the sort of the symbol for Buell?
Oh, man.
Is there a history behind that?
There's a lot of different mythology behind it.
Yeah.
But like there's all sorts of different thoughts that you can have with it or interpretations. I like the birth story of the Pegasus. Like I'll go crazy on mythology with you if you want me to.
Yeah.
But like the only thing that I think that can go faster than a horse is a winged horse, right? Mm-hmm. So like what can go faster than an iron horse but a winged iron horse?
What about an English Bulldog? I've got 2 at home that will challenge that, okay?
I got 2 crazy terriers that are losing their minds right now. So I feel
Okay, but you're on the Bulldog Brewhouse podcast, so you got to see how fast Bulldogs go, okay?
I will. I'll keep my eyes open for them, but I might miss them if they're that fast.
Oh yeah. And another thing, I know you're in Northern California, but you're originally from the East Coast, as we talked about earlier before we got online, correct?
Yep.
And what part of the Northeast America are you from?
So I grew up in New Jersey.
Okay, so are you a Jersey boy?
Through and through.
Okay. And then obviously you said earlier before we started you're a Jets fan.
Oh, you're going to put it online.
So are you going to do the
I will say that when it comes to sports, I've set myself up for a lifetime it's a love-hate relationship. Like I like sports.
Yeah.
Sports don't necessarily like me.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard Mets fan. I love the Jets.
Yeah.
So basically, I hate baseball and football.
Okay.
More hate football than I do baseball. But yeah, I mean, when we want to talk hockey, the New Jersey Devils were the only team that I've seen in my lifetime to win a championship, and they've done it 3. So
I know they did have it was interesting. I think they moved from Colorado to New Jersey, and then when they came out with the Devils name, I think a lot of people in the Christian in the faith thought that this is a bad luck name for a hockey team, but they ended up winning. I think it's like 3 Stanley Cups or something, and they've had some great players. Scott Stevens, remember him?
Niedermeyer. Scott Stevens, Scott Niedermeyer.
Yeah, all those boys. Martin Brotour.
Marty Brotour.
Yeah.
Arguably the greatest goalie of all time.
Yeah.
But to each his own.
But the Jets, I mean, they're not on a good start again this year. And I trust you. Do you know how to do the Jets shout out when they do at the games, or are you going to leave that for another podcast?
I'll leave that for another one. Maybe if they can get a win in on one, I'll do it on the next one.
All right. Okay. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. Obviously, we got some more stuff to talk about Buell when the production starts, the models start coming out, and you'll probably look at to book you and Bill on another podcast session in 2026. And if you're down in Sturgis next year, we'll probably see you there again, okay?
All right, sounds good, Steve. Thank you so much for the invite. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Say hi to Bill for me. Let him know. I hope everything's going with production. And you know what? Halloween's next week, so enjoy watching your Halloween films every night. And happy Halloween to you and your family. And hopefully get a lot of candy next Friday, okay?
All right, sounds good, man. Have a good one.
Well, thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. So everyone out there, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you learned something new about Buell Motorcycle, the revitalization of it now into the motorcycle community. And in the meantime, stay safe and happy Halloween coming up. Take care. Bye-bye.